I'm going to visit the subject of flautas or taquitos again. Flauta, taquito, there's like a difference in sizes. I think flautas are a little bit larger than taquitos. All I care about is that they taste good. But I'm doing this because I now have my own tortilla press. And it's way cool. It's fun to use. And they're inexpensive. I think it was less than $20 on Amazon. And I got a good cast iron tortilla press. It does a great job. So I'm going to make my own tortillas. And the other reason why I'm doing this is because I have a nice formula that I like for the filling. So let's make flautas / taquitos. I have here 1/2 cup, 70 grams by weight of masa flour. That's not corn flour or cornmeal. It's masa flour for making tortillas. And then I have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then 1/3 cup of hot water. This is about 80 milliliters. I'm not going to put all of this in to begin with. I'm going to get that stirred in and then add more, and even more if I need it. From what I could see on YouTube, add the remainder of that and probably some more. They said you need a consistency of like Play-Doh. It should be moist, soft, and moldable. And that's still crumbly. A little more water. A lot of people weren't sure exactly how much water to put in because it could depend upon humidity, whether the masa flour is absorbing moisture from the air or what, time of year and so forth. So you basically a lot of them just said you just basically put it together until you get a soft, moldable dough. And you don't need to knead this like bread dough, but you can knead it just to get everything moist and evenly distributed. Get the liquid evenly distributed. I'm not doing a whole lot here as far as kneading. And then you can cover that with a damp cloth and let that sit for a few minutes. I don't have a comal, but I have the next best thing. It's a cast iron griddle pan, and it's really shallow. See, it's a griddle. It's not really like a skillet or a saute pan. I'm going to be heating this on the stove to cook my tortillas. Here is my tortilla press. And you'll see here I have some plastic. Different people recommend different kinds of plastic. The best that I've seen, as far as trying them all, or a lot of them, is this is from those plastic bags they have at the produce section at the store or in the meats section. And you just basically cut them up a little bit to get 2 sheets, and they're free, which makes it even better. And I've reused this one again and again and again. Okay, but first I want to section my dough here. I need a knife. And I'm going to make 4. This is enough dough to make 4 tortillas. Take each one, roll it into a ball. What could be easier than that? And this is really simple. I've even made these for snacks, cook them, and then sometimes I'll even fry them in oil to make tortilla chips. Okay, and again, put my damp cloth on top to keep those moist. And now returning to my tortilla press. You obviously don't need to prep this with anything because the plastic is going to do its own work to keep the tortilla press clean. Put a little ball of dough in the middle. Pat it down a little bit. Put another piece of plastic on top. That's important. I forgot the first time I started using this, and I had dough all sticking to the top of my tortilla press. And then just press it lightly. Looks pretty good. I usually just flip it around and press it one more time just to make sure that it's even thickness. And I don't need to press it much. Just a little bit to even it out. And there is my prepared tortilla, but I'm going to leave the plastic on it to keep it moist while my pan is heating up. My griddle has been heating up, and that seems hot enough. I can hear it sizzle a little bit. And by the way, when I do mine, I never get them to puff. I don't know whether the pan isn't hot enough, whether there isn't enough moisture. Mine never puff up, but they taste fine. So I'm going to let that cook for maybe 30 seconds on one side. Okay. Flip it over. And from what I've seen, you let that go about a minute. Then when you flip it over again, it's supposed to puff up. But as I said, mine never. I think it's CGI. These people who get theirs to puff up, I think it's all done with computer trickery and video. Okay, I'm being facetious, but mine never puff up. But they taste good. That's what matters. Oh, and while that's cooking, I have one of these tortilla warmers. I put a damp cloth in the bottom. And when I cook my 4 tortillas, I'll put them in there and cover them to keep them moist so they don't dry out. How are we doing here? Puff up. Puff up. I dare you. Puff up. It ain't puffing up. Okay, so I've got my other 3 to do, and then I'll have my tortillas ready. I have here about 6 ounces, 170 grams of raw meat. As far as the kind of meat, anything you want. You can use beef, chicken, turkey, pork, anything you want. If it's raw, like this is, you're going to want to cook it first before you assemble your flautas. But you can use cooked chicken, for example, left over from, say, a Sunday dinner or whatever. Thanksgiving is coming up soon. This might be a good way of using up some of your leftover turkey. Just shred it or slice it up really thin. And again, if it's cooked, just assemble your flautas. Or in my case, I'm going to cook this and then assemble my flautas. Okay, so there's my raw meat. So there's my cooked meat. I cooked that with a little bit of garlic. Rather than fresh garlic, I used some roasted garlic. And then I'm going to put some pepper in there. A little bit of freshly ground black pepper. I'm going to season this a little bit with salt. Not much. And then I have some salsa verde. This is mild. I like this because it gives me some moisture in there. I'm going to put a couple of tablespoons in there. Make sure that's mixed up. And then for seasoning, I have some chili powder. And I'm going to put between 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder in there. This is mild. You can use really hot if you'd like. You may want to put in some fresh hot chili cut up. And I'm going to try to divide that into 4 equal portions. Should probably taste that. little piece. Ooh, that's heaven. That's perfect. Rather than fry mine in oil on a stove, I'm going to cook mine in my air fryer. So I have the basket of my air fryer here, ready to go. Take out one of my tortillas here, still nice and moist. And then put in some of my seasoned meat, like so. And I have here 2 ounces, about 60 grams of shredded Monterey Jack cheese. I'm going to put some on the inside like that. And then roll this up. And there it is. That's ready to go into my air fryer. Little piece of meat falling out there. It's going to stay out. And I have 3 more of these to do. And then I'll be ready to cook them. There's the last flauta. And worth showing you is I have some cheese left over. Those are going to go, this is going to go on top, and it's going to brown lightly in the air fryer. I'm going to use my pretty much standard settings for my air fryer. I'm going to leave it at 360 degrees Fahrenheit, but I'm going to change the time down to 10 minutes. Start it up. I'll check those after 5 minutes to make sure they're not browning too quickly. So there they are. I took these out after about 8 minutes because I liked the browning. This one broke open a little bit. And if you've got salsa, I think salsa would be good with this. I happen to love guacamole, so I put guacamole on my plate. And now finally got to see how these taste. All right. Get a little bit of my guacamole. I made these for a friend of mine. Just maybe a week or so ago as a test. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was just winging it. And he gave me a nice compliment. He said, even when you don't know what you're doing, you make great food. Because he loved them. Mmm. That's delicious. Okay, excuse me, I'm going to go enjoy what is this? Almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Late lunch, early dinner of my flautas.